DOM is a psychedelic with stimulant qualities that's been used to some extent since the late 1960s. The drug, which is also known as STP, is illegal in many areas. Personal variation has to be kept in mind when dealing with a drug's effects, especially if the drug is a hallucinogen. As such, any of the effects I describe are just a general outline. The positive effects can include mood lift, euphoria, stimulation, introspection, empathy, music appreciation, and closed and open eye visuals. DOM's negative effects include nausea, vasoconstriction, insomnia, anxiety, confusion, and increases in heart rate and blood pressure. It's considered a stimulating drug, which lends itself to engaging in physical activities like dancing, though, given its effects, your activity should be kept within reason. For some people, DOM is described as speedy, suggesting it is markedly different from a sedating psychedelic like psilocybin. The stimulation comes along with a relatively strong body high, which can manifest as tingling and a feeling of energy around the body. Increased empathy, or greater sociability, though less than what exists with MDMA, can exist, especially when you're with other people. High doses of DOM last for quite a while, and those experiences also tend to be filled with anxiety, fear, and panic. This is why a number of people have gone to the hospital out of fear. Getting into the timeline, DOM can take a long time to take effect, so you should avoid the urge to redose when you feel like it's not working. Using more shouldn't even be considered until at least 4 or 5 hours. The drug, when used orally, sublingually, or buccally, lasts for 8 to 30 hours. A 30-hour experience isn't common, but it's been reported by multiple people who've used a large dose. Shulgin listed the normal duration as 14 to 20 hours. The onset is usually 2 to 4 hours, and the strongest effects are found 4 to 12 hours after administration. After effects can exist for 12 to 24 hours after the main experience is over. DOM is a substitute phenethylamine and an amphetamine. It's the amphetamine analog of 2,4-D and a member of the DOX class, which contains substances like DOB, DOC, and the Aleph series. The drug functions at 5-HT2A, 2B, and 2C receptors as a partial agonist, with the 2A receptor providing much of the psychedelic effects. DOM has an R and an S isomer. Based on tests, the R isomer appears to be the most active, though the S isomer may contribute to DOM's stimulant effects. It seems to produce a greater possible response from serotonin receptors than LSD, though it's also less potent. Alexander Shulgin first synthesized DOM in 1963. A few years later, in 1967, use was reported primarily around San Francisco, California, where it was being sold as both DOM and STP. STP stood for Serenity, Tranquility, Peace, though it did have some other meanings. The DOM tablets being sold contained very high doses of 10 to 20 milligrams, which ultimately resulted in people going to the hospital. With the initial dose of 10 to 20 milligrams, DOM can produce concerning experiences, and even more so if someone redoses because of the slow onset. By 1973, DOM was illegal in the US as a Schedule I drug. Due to both its illegality and problems with high-dose experiences, it left the market for a while. Then, in 1991, DOM was described by Shulgin in his book P-Call, which brought it to the attention of more recent sellers. More recently, it has entered the market again, marking the first true period of human usage outside of its brief stint in California. Sometimes it is encountered due to it being passed off as LSD on blotter paper. Shulgin listed DOM's oral dose as 3 to 10 milligrams, and that appears to be pretty much accurate. A light dose is 1 to 2.5 milligrams, a common dose is 3 to 5 milligrams, and a strong dose is 5 to 8 milligrams or more. The substance is illegal in the US. It's also illegal in the UK, Canada, New Zealand, Belgium, Latvia, and other countries. Even with fairly high doses of 20 to 30 milligrams or more, DOM hasn't caused death, but that doesn't mean it's entirely safe. Once you reach a high dose, the drug can be very unpleasant due to its strong stimulant and psychedelic effects. The stimulant effects should be kept in mind if you have heart issues, and you should also minimize stressful physical activity. We don't know what the toxic or lethal dose of DOM is. Acutely, any of the normal doses I've listed appear to be fairly safe physically. Without more information, it's hard to say how safe regular use is. Tolerance does exist with DOM after just one use, though it can take 2 to 3 uses to really eliminate the drug's effects. Tolerance subsides in around 7 days. If you have any questions about DOM, feel free to leave them in the comment section. You can also leave them in the Reddit thread for this video, which will be linked in the description. Support on Patreon is greatly appreciated, so if you'd like to contribute, you can head to patreon.com/thedrugclassroom. You can also contribute on PayPal through the link in the description, or through Bitcoin using the provided address or QR code. You can connect with me on Twitter at Sethy Fitzgerald, and via email at thedrugclassroom@gmail.com. If you have any topic recommendations, you can post them in the comment section or send them to me elsewhere.